in terms of your team holding on and pulling out this win?
Yeah, I think it was one of those games where we could have found a bunch of ways to lose it. We hanging on to our lead. Second unit struggled a little bit. We lost that margin, and that's a tough position when you put your starters back in late in the game when the momentum swung the other way. So I was happy with the character and resolve we showed to make some shots, to play against a different look. That zone, it's not something you face every day. So, trying to figure it out and stay calm, stay poised, play in principles more so than sets. And they most importantly, showed the resolve after a tough week to get the win.
Michael Grady from Yes Network.
Coach, you talked a lot about the 50-50 balls, the hustle, those little intangibles and winning plays. How would you assess the effort you got from you guys tonight?
I thought it was a great response from the guys. We, especially to start the game, came out, made the extra effort, multiple efforts, played collectively, offensively too, put that energy into the offense. Sometimes we have a tendency to stand and watch each other or to get stagnant, but we moved it. We made quick decisions at that end, and defensively, just the will was there. The will was there to make them feel us. So that was a big improvement from Cleveland, and proud of the way they came out and set the tone, and then found a way to win in the end.
Not a lot of, shot attempts from James. You've talked about, him and facilitating for others. How important is that, especially with him seeing time with the second unit, to help give those guys some confidence?
Well, it's invaluable, his, playmaking skills for us. So often he found guys for layups or wide open threes and created and distorted the defense. So, he wasn't himself shooting the ball. I think he's still trying to get himself into shape. That was a tough little week for him, 3 games in 4 nights, so including a double overtime. So I think, hats off to him that he found a way to contribute when his shot wasn't going and his legs weren't there. He still made a lot of plays for his team.
Greg Logan with Newsday.
Hey, Greg, good to hear from
Steve,
you.
how are you?
Yes. I was worried about you up there.
I know. I just wanted to ask a 2-part thing. You're up 16 at the end of the third quarter. Does this team sometimes have a tend to relax when you get that kind of cushion? And then how hard is it to get started again the way you did in the fourth period?
Yeah, I don't know if it's relaxing, but that second unit is just growing, trying to learn and figure it out and play together. And, they just struggle a little bit, and that's going to happen sometimes. So, they're capable. We got to develop them. The alternative is to play our starters 40-plus minutes. So fortunately, we had a little bit of a cushion, and although we lost the momentum and the lead thereabouts, we still were able to win the game and keep the minutes in a relatively acceptable zone. So, that's part of our development. That's part of taking the long road here and not necessarily trying every night to wear our guys out and not develop the second unit.
Malika Andrews with ESPN.
Mute, Malika. You're on mute. I don't know if it's Greg Logan.
We'll try Alex Schiffer with The Athletic.
Is rubbing off on you? What's the deal, guys? Come on.
Hey, Steve, I got 2 for you. Just even with all these stars, how big of a difference maker is it when you get a guy like Joe going early? And then just my second one is, even though you talked about James, it's only been a week, I guess, where do you think he's made the most strides in such a short time with only games and only 1 practice, given everything?
Yeah, well, Joe was outstanding shooting the ball for us. Also his energy and hustle defensively and his ability to stick to the game plan, I think, helps us a lot. James is, he's a terrific playmaker. He hasn't got his scoring going yet. I think he's still trying to get himself into shape, but the playmaking is important. I think also his familiarity with the switching defense, is important. So we know where James will get. It's just a matter of getting him there in a safe way.
Brian Lewis with the New York Post.
Hey, Steve. I'm curious. Obviously, this is going to be a weird season where rosters and teams aren't going to look like their normal selves every day. But was that the shot profile defensively that you wanted? I mean, were you getting them, forcing them to take the kind of shots that you wanted? Or was that team so decimated that it's kind of hard to judge that when they're missing those threes?
Well, you can only play the game in front of you. So I thought tonight, Bam was exceptional in the mid-range, but, we made him take tough shots. He got
and was noting that, can you hear me now, with my mask down. So,
Well, it wasn't exactly the crowd that drowned him out.
no, not at all. Unfortunate scenario. Usually somebody's jumping on that. And here's the next layer. The players could too.
Well,
I mean, you've been in enough situations to know full well.
I was sort of surprised to see the ball go down to the floor on a dribble.
Yeah.
And, time and score. Look, whoever it is, you've got to know time and score, whether it's the bench or it's a player. Everybody's responsible.
Let's hear from the man himself. It's the Baptist Health post-game press conference. Here is Heat head coach Eric Spoelstra.
All right, Coach, sorry about that. Looks like the raise hand function's not working on Zoom.
Okay.
So
I thought that was going to be one of the good things of the night. No questions.
So let me start with, looks like Ira Winderman is unmuted, so go ahead, Ira.
Eric, can you sort of just take us through the way your team fought back through that adversity just to get to that point? What did it say about the constant pushback from your team?
Well, we're trying to develop a consistent level of grit and make winning plays more often, on both ends. And this group is learning what it takes, to win. And sometimes that can be painful. But, I thought, some of the grit we showed in the second half, particularly, when the ball wasn't going in, to be able to dig and get some stops. Obviously, Bam was fantastic, going down the stretch in the fourth quarter, all game long, but down the stretch, he was really able to generate a lot of good offense, for us. And then we were able to get some stops and just keep on plugging away and not get discouraged, when we were down double digits. So it's a shame we weren't able to find a way to get over the top.
Was this game planned for Bam, or did this happen organically, the 41 points?
I mean, a little bit of both. Look, we have whatever percentage of firepower, in Miami, right now. So he is our leader in Gorn, while those other guys are out. And, he has to produce. It doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be a 40-point game. But he's going to be the focal point of a lot of our offense, whether that's at the elbows, handling, getting us into triggers, or like you saw in the fourth quarter in the post, or just running pick and roll basketball. I thought that was, a big part of getting him in the flow was that second quarter. He had some easy opportunities at the rim from pick and rolls. And then, he was just able to kind of take over in the fourth quarter when things started slowing down.
And then the last one from me, the missed free throw, you play in transition. It seemed like there was a call for a timeout from the bench. Yeah. Bam dribbled through. Can you take us through that sequence, what you wanted and what happened there? Thank you.
Yeah, that's not the reason we lost, but that's an unnecessary miss. I can't even explain it. I'm walking out with my clipboard, and it was a missed shot. We communicated that it was going to be a timeout. And then as Andre, rebounded it, yelling timeout, but I just don't think anybody can hear with these masks on. But it's quite evident from the body language. I'm on the court with my clipboard ready to draw it. And we had just communicated that to the officials before that last free throw, and nothing had changed. It's just unfortunate.
Up next, we have Tim Reynolds.
Eric, after only scoring 80 or 81, whatever it was last night, and tonight didn't start well, back-to-back, all the firepower that you said back in Miami, it would have been such the human condition to just throw this one away. What's it say about your guys that they didn't do that?
Well, our guys have a competitive character, and the guys really want to develop our collective grit and find different ways to win, even when we have, guys out and dealing with adversity. We have real competitors in that locker room. They want to step up and do it and find a way to win. I think this is all part of this process, is developing this collective grit and toughness, is to find different ways to win, learn what it takes to win. And that's, a full game of competing and also doing things, with a mind. And, we're making some progress. It's just unfortunate you're not able to see it in the win column, but we're making some progress for sure.
The other thing I wanted to ask, Eric, Kyrie was obviously great in the final few minutes, and it wasn't like they were easy for him. Is that just, you just have to tip your cap a little bit to when a great player does great things like that?
Yeah, all three of those guys, they're just so damn skilled. Off the dribble, their shooting ability, their ability to see open players. I mean, that's why they're three of the best in this business. And you're right, like those are shots that only great players can manufacture. And I'll look at the film, but there's probably not a lot of them that we could have defended, better. And he just made big time timely shots.
Thank you, Eric.
Next, we have one from Mateo Mayorga.
Good evening, Coach. Tonight, the Nets made 19 three-point shots on over 51% shooting from deep. From your perspective, sir, what did the Heat fail to do to limit Brooklyn's effectiveness from deep? Thank you.
Yeah, I would say there was probably a handful of those that, we probably could have done a little bit better trying to give up that corner three. But some of it, look, they have great players. Those three guys in particular are going to put a lot of heat on your defense. You're going to have to give up something. They're collapsing your defense, forcing help, regardless whether we're in, the man or the zone. And sometimes those were the shots that were available. I think, Joe Harris got some wide open ones in that first quarter, but as the game went on, I thought we defended the line a little bit better.
All right, that's it. Thank you for coming back, Coach. Appreciate it.
All right, thank you.